Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today as we talk to the Nisse Sage over here. There is a young Nisse Sage standing by the chasm. His robes are torn. He holds a smoldering scroll in his hand. He is incoherent with terror. No, you can't have our secrets, I swear it. I've come from Haven. He turns, and without a word, steps out over the chasm. He falls into the fire, which is cheese, and is gone. The fire which is cheese! Never have I uttered more beautiful words than those that I have just uttered. That didn't go very well, because I said the word uttered twice, and it doesn't work quite as well. So, what are we doing? Well, we're looking for a place to rest. That's it. That's it. That's what we're doing. Forever. And ever. But this is not it, because we know there's... No, don't do that. There's enemies over there. And the Nisse really don't like us. I don't know why they're being coy about that, though. They are being coy about that. But I don't know why. It's like, I realize you don't like me. It is okay if you don't like me. I will murder you. Have you seen the terrible things I have done to get here? Yes, I have done terrible things. Also some less than terrible things every once in a while. But, you know, the good doesn't wash out the bad. At least not in this case. Hello? How do I get in there? Oh, I've been in there already. You need to get in there from the other side. Oh, man. I'm not worried that we are not going to find a place to sleep, because I still have enough energy that we can make do, but it is dangerous. All this is dangerous. A city looms over the center of the enormous Nisse cavern. You can see it just ahead, surrounded by fields of mushrooms. You kneel and look at the fungi, the mushrooms. You learned about them during one of Sutter's interminable lessons about life in the field. They are edible for humans. This makes sense. The Nisse are human, in a way. No, it's in every way. Also, it doesn't... They're edible for humans. It makes sense. The Nisse are human. No. These are... No, it doesn't make sense. Humans have things that are not edible to them around the humans. It's... Anyway, you are close to the Nisse central city. You expected guards or travelers... No, I didn't. They are nowhere ever. Were greeting by envoys. Instead, you find nobody. The city has been abandoned. Nobody is at the gates. The Nisse have seemingly abandoned their lands to you. Have you already won just by finding them? No. They must be waiting for you somewhere. I know exactly where they are. We just started the episode exactly there where they are. We're not going to go there right away, or anytime soon either. And these people disappear. But that's because I really need to find a place to sleep. And I suspect the city might be it, although I have suspected it was... Oh, that's the fool, right? The court gesture sort of thing. Regarding the fungi, I'm not really sure about the cultural well, not implications, that's not the word, but the cultural sort of aspect of mushrooms being fungi, or fungi, whatever. I don't know how English pronounces it. I've heard it both ways. But, friends? No, not friends. Yeah, don't want to deal with you. I don't know the cultural implication because I remember growing up, and I think I shared this memory with at least a plurality of Portuguese people. Growing up, I remember learning about mushrooms, and specifically learning that they weren't plants. So it was like this big thing that you would ask kids about. Oh, a mushroom is a plant? Or, you know, that maybe spiders weren't insects. Or that bats weren't birds. Stuff like that. So stuff like that just sort of sticks to my mind as something you teach to kids. It's not necessarily the case for everybody, though, around the world. Because, you know, another thing that I was taught as a kid, and it was, you know, sort of... It's one of those tricks that you do to kids. You know, you ask them sort of a question that you kind of expect them not to know, and then you teach them the correct answer. At least that's how I was taught. Like, you know, specifically the bats not being birds. Because they fly, you know. Of course they're birds. No, they're not. It's kind of funny, isn't it? It's a cool... that's how you teach kids to be curious about stuff. At least I find that it is. Either way, another thing that I was taught was, for example, that centuries only start on the year numbered 1. Like, for example, 1991 is the first year of the 20th century. And also another thing that I was taught as a kid is that the 1990 20s or 1920 something is not the 19th century, it's the 20th century. So as a kid, I was taught that dates are a little bit weird, because how is 1925 of the 20th century? It starts with 19. Well, because rules are weird. And also, how does 1900, the year 1900, how is it not already of the 20th century? Well, because again, there's rules. So you can imagine my frustration with the millennium celebrations. And every time a new decade doesn't arrive, every time a new, well, decades and centuries as well, they're not necessarily, there's many decades. Any group of 10 years is a decade. Any group of 100 years is a century. But when you say the 20th century, you specifically mean the 100 years between January 1st, 1901 and December 31st, the year 2000, just like the millennium. Either way, the point is, there are some things that to me, like specifically like the mushrooms not being plants, smack of the things that you teach kids. And I don't know if that's the case for everybody. I imagine it isn't. I'm really trying to avoid these things. I don't know that they actually attack me. So if you're wondering what I'm doing as I ramble about things that don't really matter, I'm getting rid of all the fog of war, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need to go there. But I also am pretty sure that if I find something else, then the city in the middle of the cave is not where we need to go. Because we've been to other cities, like this one, and it wasn't where I needed to go. That's something to the south. Let's go there. There's a lot of things like that. I don't know. My parents, well, mostly my father, my father is kind of, well, I got my pedantry from him, basically. And he's a lot worse than I am. He's so much worse, to the point where I wasn't taught where the... Oh! Wait. Really? We can't leave, though, but this is another entrance. Oh, I wouldn't have expected that. That means that there's 3 entrances to this place. And it also means that I missed the third, because this is the south entrance. That is the exit. It's the dragons. That doesn't matter. That is the eastern entrance. Oh yeah, there's something up here. Let's go. So I will save the game just in case, and I'll click. You can try move that far, okay? And so yeah, I was taught, that mushrooms weren't plants, but I wasn't taught that people don't like it when you correct them, and you don't have a close enough relationship with them to correct them about things. So I had to learn that by myself. Oh no! It's fine. I had to learn that by myself, and it's an important skill to know. Not to be a jerk. Although I'm not very good at that. I'm mostly a jerk. Can you please not attack me? Thank you. You're a darling. Okay, so we're going north. Was it this way? No, it was not. Where the heck was it? What? Oh, it's a lie. It was a lie. Wait, that's weird though. It was a lie because the map doesn't... Oh, this must be the... What? Is it? I don't know. Either way, we're good. Let's go to the city over here. And we're definitely not going to die. In any way, shape, or form. And hopefully it's going to be the place of rest. What do we have? You enter the Nice city, expecting an... You expect a lot of things, but you're... slow learner. That's just how it goes. Expecting an ambush at any moment. It is still empty. No townsfolk. No guards. Nice architecture is unique. Low stone buildings. Large open plazas for meetings. That's what plazas are for. Gardens of fungal trees. Finally, a huge tower at the north end of the town. And the reason why I'm talking about the fungi, the mushrooms being fungi, is that how, it's kind of peculiar to me that the game refers to them as fungi, because, that's not something I do about mushrooms. I call them mushrooms, because that's what they are. I certainly don't call them mycelium, because That's not what they are in English, but also that's just really weird, and it's a really weird word, and it's very technical. But I get that in other languages it's very common. But that's why I'm talking about the cultural sort of aspect of what you call certain things. It's like you don't call trees plants, but they are still plants. But I'm sure in some languages you might call trees plants. What do we have over here? A puzzle, my favorite. Actually, is it my favorite? Okay, so I'm there, I think. Yes, I am. Okay, so we're starting out. What is our limitations? We don't have any limitations, so I'm thinking this is gonna be our limitation. So I'm gonna want to do this. There we go. Yeah. Na, 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 na. I don't know why I sing that. Don't worry. Oh, I died because I went in against the wall. That's unfair and silly. It's really yeah. It's not nice. There we go. And we got experience, but we didn't activate anything. This might open exits though. Like it might be the way to make sure you can leave through the exits that we found at the south part of town, maybe. Because it didn't do anything here, so I don't know. I don't remember where the other one was that we found either, so can't really draw a comparison. Can I? No friends, no enemies, just loot. Silver coins, absolutely. That's definitely something that I will take. And that's an exit. Okay, there's a distillery over here. What looks like one anyway. I mean, this is a traditional type of spirit making, the distillery. But there's another way of making spirits, white spirits specifically, without a distillery. And it's made out of the musk from winemaking. And it doesn't look like this at all. It doesn't use fire. It's basically the way to do it is you use, you know, you get the musk out of, is it called musk? I don't think that is what it's called in English. So if you don't know how wine is made traditionally, basically you put it in a big vat and then you smash on it with your feet, and then the grapes all get into a mush, and then you let the mush rest, and it basically all the wine goes to the bottom and the mush goes to the top. It's as simple as that. And then you have a little tap at the bottom, and then you take the wine. Now that wine is not fermented yet, or rather, is it fermented? It's only started its fermentation process. So what you want to do after that is you want to put it in another vat or another barrel or whatever. You actually put it in specific types of barrels, and you want to leave it open so that when it ferments, the gases that it expels won't just blow the gasket, won't blow the casket open. So you put it there, shouldn't bottle it at all, and if you do bottle it too early, then the bottles will pop because they ferment still in the bottles, and it's kind of complicated. So what you want to do is you put it in caskets. That's better for that. And then after it's fermented, you put it in bottles. And it actually depends on how long you leave it in the casket. You can actually just store the wine in a casket, no problem whatsoever, but it will age, where in a bottle it won't age. But that's how you make wine. It's a relatively simple process. Now, what happens to the musk that, after, open the tap down here, all the grime and whatnot stays at the top, so it just goes to the bottom. You pick that up, and it's really gross, but it's not gross. It's not. It's just grapes. It's not, I mean, it's not, like, what is it called? It's not compost or anything. It's perfectly fine. Also because the alcohol sort of helps keep it fresh. But it's like 1 or 2 days that you leave it there at most. So after that, you pick that up after you make the wine, and you put it in another vat. And what you do to that vat is you fill it up with that, and then you let it rot. And that's literally what it is. The fermentation is mostly just the process of rotting. That's why rot can be sweet, is because it's fermented. So you put it in a basket, in a casket that has a thing on top, and you let it rot. And then after it's, well, I say rot, but you let it ferment. And after it's plenty fermented, and it depends on how you do it and how good you are at doing it. After it's plenty fermented, all that, you just smash it with a thing. It's like a specific screw that you there's other ways of doing it. You can do it with a big stone. Traditionally, even more traditionally than what I'm talking about, it is done with a big stone. But after we invented the screw in the 1400s, I believe, it's interestingly enough, the 1400s, not to be confused with the 15th century. Those are two different centuries, as it were, because the 1400s is all the years starting with 14, and the 15th century is all the years starting with 14 plus 1500, the year 1500, and minus the year 1400. Either way, it's totally fine. The point is, I'm not familiarized with this being a very historically traditional thing, but the Nisei are magic, so it's not. And also, this isn't history. This is made up, so it's totally fine. But it's kind of funny because you see that. At least I see that a lot in games like Morrowind and Skyrim and all that. It's you never see the traditional way of making white spirits. You always see the fermentation. But also, when I'm talking about historic tradition, I am also talking about specifically Western Europe tradition. So take it as you will, basically. That amethyst orb over there, I believe, sucks. Yes, it sucks. You can keep it. Wow, that is a bad item. That is a bad item, and it should feel bad. The door is locked, and you don't have the key. I have rambled about that particular sentence before. I'm not going to ramble about it again, although I felt the need to. But I'm not going to. And this feels promising. In regards to finding a place to sleep, you enter the northern tower. There is an auditorium on the bottom floor. There is a platform in the middle of the hall where something can be displayed. Could be displayed. You're not going to display anything. The air here is heavy with magic. It crackles and hisses, and your hair stands on end. Well, obviously it is magic. There is a distillery outside. Historically as well, the distilleries were kept hidden. Because those things are expensive. The still itself is really expensive. I mean, historically anyway. Modern day stills, you can buy them for relatively cheap in comparison to the real estate that they the cost of real estate is a lot higher than just the machine itself. But historically, that's not the case because that's made of beaten steel, and not only is steel expensive historically speaking, also hard to make, and that's why one of the reasons why the traditional way of making white spirits that I was talking about is not is not very common in really old medieval stuff. I say really old medieval stuff. In medieval stuff anyway, because steel didn't really become a staple until I want to say the 1300s, but I'm not even sure if that was a staple. Steel itself, yeah, no, Europe, certainly not in the rest of the world. Europe is sort of the forefront, at the forefront of steel production in a lot of aspects. In not necessarily, making the best steel all the time or anything, but making the most steel at least after the 1500s, well into the contemporary era. No, not contemporary era. Japan and Asia, they made pretty good steel in mass after the 1700s. So contemporary era starting in the 1800s. Either way, we have somebody over here. Kriadai. That's a name. This floor of the tower is for research. It's for what I want it to be. Shut up. There are piles of books and scrolls everywhere. All of them have been stolen from the surface. This is where the Nisei study your people. Apparently, you fascinate them. It's a bit of jump to conclusions. Just because they have a library about humans, I say humans, but they are also humans, about surfacers. It doesn't mean that we fascinate them. It's like, that's even like you could have a floor full of things that only somebody fascinated with the surfacers would have. It doesn't mean that the Nisei are fascinated. It just means whoever owns this, all I'm saying is that it's a bit of a leap to conclusions. There is an old Nisei sage in this library. He is making his rounds, rearranging the scrolls and books. Then he sees you. Oh, the surface worlder. I was told to leave. I guess I waited too long. I am Sage Diblin. I tend to the knowledge of this tower. You note he is wearing a big iron key on a chain around his neck. What is this place? Oh, it is the Tower of Knowledge of Krieg. It is where we learn and work lesser magic. What do you learn here? About the surface world, Sacramentum, mostly. We are the keepers and protectors of the surface. We have to watch what is going on. You'd think that you are the keepers and protectors of the underworld because that's where you are, but they're the surface. Well, what spells do you cast here? He didn't say that he cast these spells. Anyway, I suppose it's fair enough to assume that he casts spells if he studies magic. Spells of sight, the occasional blessing. We make the occasional creation and potion. High magic is not done here. Where are the big spells cast? In the great tower of the Nise, to the north. It is where the mightiest of the Nise magics are used, like poisoning the earth of Sacramentum to clear the disease out. Yeah, that's... Sure. That's how you... That's... with absolutely it is. So you admit you caused the calamity. Capital C. Oh, of course. We know all about Haven. A disease. Yeah, you meant to clear Haven out. A disease that would take our land from us. They will starve, be hunted, and die. It is necessary. Tell me about the city. It is the glorious coming together place, all one word, hyphenated. We have homes to sleep and plazas to meet in, of course, because that's what plazas are for. It is empty, though. The people are gone. I should have gone too. Where are the people? They fled to the low caves. We knew that you were coming to hunt us. Once you are dead, they can return. Then the retaliation... The retaliation? Someone on the surface spilled our secrets. Gave away the keys that were given as a sacred trust. They will pay a horrifying price for it. Why did you stay? I forgot to go. I really am very busy. Unfortunate for me, I think. Is it? Are we gonna kill him or something? I'd like to know more about the Nise. I don't feel like sharing. This is our land, after all. And, you know, how would you feel like sharing in your own land? That's just like, if you're in somebody else's land, then you're gonna share. That's definitely the case. But in your land, no, you don't share. All you need to know is that we will burn you away. I need that key. He looks down at the key as if he had forgotten it was there. Oh, that is very rude. It is my key, not yours. You can't have it. Apparently we're taking turns sounding like a 5-year-old. Because before it was me with all my questions, and now it is him. It is my key, not yours. I'm not joking. Give it to me. Oh, I think this means we have to fight. I really should have left. So foolish, foolish. Oh well, I will be avenged. And the conversation ends, and he's aggressive, so I'll quick save, and I'll attack him. So. Oh my god. Took 11 points of damage. That's okay. But why does he have 462 health? We have a... Why is he so strong? No. No, I'll do another thing instead. I'll do Bull Rush. Oh, you jerk. Shut up. Wow. Wow. Freaking hell. Stunning shot then. He faded. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just double pressing A and or double pressing F4 to reload and then clicking on him. The moment you click, you don't actually start combat. It does start combat, but you don't do what you would do. I'm gonna try Mind Steal. It's probably not gonna work. Charm resisted. So yeah, double click or double F4 reloads the game, and then I click on him, and he does the thing, and it's just I will not take damage here. Shut up. I need a place to. Oh, it's slowed. I need a place to sleep, and that's already bad. That I. Wow, 2 damage. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I didn't want to do this, but I will. That's why I was saying before. I'm not afraid, and I'm not. But if the game is not going to give me a place to sleep, then I don't know what you want from me, game. Yes, healing and cure. The cure is for the bleed that I applied. 230 health. That is more appropriate. He's still stronger than my strongest warrior. The Nisse Sage falls to the ground, dead. He really should have left when he had the chance. You take the key. Yes, rub it in. Absolutely rub it in. Can I end the combat? How do I do that? I forget. F, I think? Yes. Yes, it is F. F, indeed. Also, there's some Blade War Chamblers over there, so I'm going to end the episode here, but we're going to kill them. For right now, I'm Critical RPG, and this has been Queen's Wish. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.